Hello everyone, a very good morning and warm welcome to all of you in my class. Students, in the previous class we discussed the anatomy of dicot stem and monocot stem and dicot root and monocot root. And in the live class we have discussed the anatomy of monocot leaf. And today in this class I am going to discuss the structure of dicot and monocot leaf. And the difference also we will see that what is the main difference in between these two leaves, because one is dorsiventral type and one is isobilateral type. So if today we first start with dicot leaf and we see this is the internal structure of dicot leaf. So when we take the section of any dicot plant leaf, that is Helianthus or Hibiscus rosa sinensis or any jasmine, any plant leaf, if you take the section, in the transverse section we will find the three main regions we will see. First is epidermis, and epidermis is present both sides, upper epidermis and lower epidermis, and in the middle portion mesophyll cells are present. So first is epidermis. Second, we see mesophyll cells, and third portion is stele. So these three regions are main regions which we see in dicot leaf and monocot leaf also. But let's see the first structure of dicot leaf. Both sides epidermis we can observe. This one is upper epidermis and this is lower epidermis, and both side epidermis it is covered with cuticle. Cuticule layer is present in the both side of epidermis, and stomatas are present, but more number of stomatas are confined to lower epidermis, and in between the two epidermis these are mesophyll cells. So these are mesophyll is again divided into two types. So you can observe here palisade tissues and spongy tissues are present, and in these spongy tissues air cavities, that means large intercellular spaces are present, which is known as air cavities, and in the midrib region and at the veins and veinlets vascular bundles are present. So at the midrib region vascular bundles are larger in size, and the size of vascular bundle are different varies, because at some veins it is smaller and some places it is larger. So different sizes of vascular bundle we can observe in dicot leaf. And this is stomata, which is confined, more number of stomata is present towards lower epidermis, and in the middle these are spongy tissues and palisade tissues, and here this is vascular bundle, and this is protoxylem, and below towards lower side phloem is present, xylem is present towards upper side, and protoxylem is towards upper epidermis, and it is surrounded by bundle sheath. These cells are called bundle sheath, and these are bundle sheath extensions. So we can see this type of structure in dicot leaf. Let's see anatomy of dicot leaf. If in Mangifera indica, that means in mango leaf, if we see, following tissues are visible in the transverse section of the material. If we take the transverse section, we can see the following structure. The first structure is epidermis. So an epidermal layer is present on the upper as well as lower surface. On both sides we can observe epidermal layer, and one-celled thick upper and lower epidermal layers consist of barrel-shaped compactly arranged cell. So both side epidermis is present, and this is upper epidermis and this is lower epidermis. So both side epidermis is present, and these are barrel-shaped cells, rectangular cells, or we can say barrel-shaped cells. These cells are compactly arranged without having intercellular spaces. Next, a thick cuticle is present on the outer walls of epidermal cells. So the epidermal layer is covered both sides the epidermal layer is covered with a thick cuticle, and comparatively thick cuticle is present on the upper epidermis. Both side cuticle is present both on upper side and lower side. Upper epidermis is known as adaxial side, whereas lower epidermis is known as abaxial side, and both the epidermis is having a cuticle, but comparatively thick cuticle is present toward on the upper epidermis, and stomata are present only on the lower epidermis. Not only exactly both sides stomatas are present, but more number of stomatas are present on the lower epidermis. So stomatas are generally confined to lower epidermis, but a few stomatas we can observe on the upper epidermis also. This is one point. This point you have to know, we have to note. And mesophyll, in between epidermal cells mesophyll cells are present, and it is clearly differentiated into palisade and spongy parenchyma. See, this is epidermis structure, this is epidermis, again I am drawing this, and this is lower epidermis, and both the epidermis is covered with cuticle. Comparatively the upper epidermis is having thick cuticle, and stomatas are present generally at present on both the sides, but in the lower epidermis more number of stomata on the lower epidermis we can see, and as it is dicot, kidney shaped guard cells are present on the stomata, and in between these two are epidermal structure, and in between these two epidermis mesophyll cells are present, and these mesophyll cells are divided it is of two types, column like structure and loosely arranged spongy parenchyma structure. So these are mesophyll cells, and one is loosely arranged like spongy parenchyma. We can say this is spongy parenchyma, and this is vascular bundle in the middle. So it is clearly differentiated, the mesophyll cells which are present in the middle, these are mesophyll cells, and it is clearly differentiated into palisade and spongy parenchyma. That means mesophyll cells are made up of parenchyma, but these are differentiated. All the cells are not similar. Towards upper epidermis we can see just palisade tissues are present. These are column like structure. These tissues are column like structure and arranged in a very compact manner. So they are compactly arranged without gaps, without having intercellular spaces, the palisade tissues, and more number of chlorophylls are present in palisade tissues, whereas below that spongy tissues are present. These are also made up of parenchymatous cells, but these cells are loosely arranged, and less number of chlorophylls are present in spongy parenchyma. So the structure of leaf, it is known as dorsiventral, because dark green color in dorsal side and light green color due to less chlorophyll, light green color in ventral side. So the leaf is known as dorsiventral leaf. So let's see, palisade lies just inner to upper epidermis, and it is composed of elongated cells arranged in two layers. So two layers of palisade tissues are present. Cells are elongated, column like structure, and the cells of palisade region are compactly arranged and filled with chloroplast. So these cells are compactly arranged, the palisade tissues, without having gaps or without having intercellular spaces, and they have more number of chloroplast. At some places the cells are arranged loosely and leave small and big intercellular spaces. Only at some places they are loosely arranged. Palisade cells are arranged at a plane at a right angle to the upper epidermis. These are arranged in a plane at right angle, and the chloroplast in them are arranged along their radial walls. This is palisade tissues. These are palisade tissues. So they are arranged in elongated column like structure, arranged in 2 rows, you can observe here, and chloroplasts are present on the radial walls. See, these dots are nothing but chloroplasts. So chloroplasts present in the radial walls, right angle to the upper epidermis, and chloroplasts in them are arranged along their radial walls. So on the radial walls, these are chloroplasts. So that is darker in color. And parenchymatous cells are present above and below the large vascular bundles. These cells interrupt the palisade layers and are said to be the extension of bundle sheath. And spongy parenchyma region is present just below the palisade and extend up to lower epidermis. So here we can observe these cells are loosely arranged cells. These cells are loosely arranged cells, and these are called spongy parenchyma. And in these cells also we can see chloroplast is present, but less number of chloroplast is present. So mesophyll is divided into 2 types of cells in dicot. One is palisade and one is spongy parenchyma. The mesophyll cells are made up of parenchyma, but they are divided into 2 types. And the palisade tissues are elongated and they are having more number of chloroplasts, whereas spongy tissues are loosely arranged and they are having less number of chloroplasts. And here, in between these palisade tissues, we can observe parenchymatous cells are present. These are called bundle sheath extensions. These cells are called bundle sheath extensions. So that structure we can observe in mesophills. So in the mesophyll, we have seen it consists of 2 types of structure. Next, the cells of spongy parenchyma are loosely arranged, filled with many chloroplasts and leave big intercellular spaces. So chloroplast is present comparative to less chloroplast, but it is having large intercellular spaces. And if in the vascular region, we can observe many large and small vascular bundles are present. So vascular bundle size of vascular bundle varies. In the midrib region, large vascular bundle is seen, and on the veins and veinlets, gradually smaller vascular bundles are found. So we can see smaller vascular bundle, and these vascular bundles are conjoint, collateral and closed. Vascular bundles are conjoint, collateral and closed. That means this is vascular bundle in the midrib region, this is vascular bundle, and here I can draw another structure. So see, this is vascular bundle, and this vascular bundle is surrounded with bundle sheath, and the bundle sheath is made up of parenchymatous. So this is bundle sheath. Bundle sheath cells, and in the vascular bundle, xylem is towards upper side, towards upper epidermis, and this is protoxylem, and these 2 are metaxylem. So this one is protoxylem, and this one is metaxylem. This is metaxylem, and xylem is towards upper epidermis, whereas phloem is towards lower epidermis. So phloem is situated toward lower side. This is phloem. This part is phloem. So these vascular bundles are conjoint. Conjoint because xylem and phloem is in the same bundle, and collateral, that means they are placed side by side, and closed type of vascular bundle. Closed because no cambium ring is present. In dicot stem, we have seen cambium ring was there. So if cambium ring is found, that means vascular bundles are open. But here no cambium ring, so the vascular bundles are conjoint, collateral and closed. Each vascular bundle is surrounded by a bundle sheath. So this is bundle sheath that I explained you. This is bundle sheath. It is surrounded by a bundle sheath, and this bundle sheath is made up of parenchyma cells. Bundle sheath is parenchymatous, and In case of large bundles, it extends up to the epidermis. So the extension we can observe. So bundle sheath extension you can observe here. In this structure we can observe this is bundle sheath which surrounds the vascular bundle, and these are extensions, bundle sheath extension, which goes up to epidermal layer, and this is made up of parenchyma. So in dicot stem, here also it is bundle sheath. Towards lower epidermis, extensions are also present. In the mesophyll we can observe these extensions. So these are extension, and it is made up of parenchymatous. Parenchyma cells. These are parenchymatous cells. So let's see. So bundle sheath is parenchymatous, and in case of large bundle, if large vascular bundle is there, it extends up to the epidermis. The extension will go up to the epidermis with the help of thin walled parenchymatous cells. So the parenchyma cell extends up to epidermal layer, and the xylem is present towards the upper epidermis, xylem, and that too protoxylem is towards upper epidermis. The first form small xylem is called protoxylem, and protoxylem is towards upper epidermis, and the metaxylem is towards the inner side. And in the xylem we can see consists of vessels and xylem parenchyma. Vessels because angiosperm, monocot is a angiosperm, so vessels are present in the xylem, and the xylem parenchyma is also present. And the protoxylem is present towards upper epidermis, while the metaxylem present towards the inner side or lower epidermis. And identification, how to we are know that it is a dicot stem? The presence of expanded portion of blade. Blade is expanded. Blade means lamina. Lamina is expanded, number 1 point. And second is presence of mesophills. Mesophills, of course, these mesophyll cells are present in monocot also, but mesophyll is differentiated into palisade and spongy tissues. And bundle sheath is parenchymatous. Bundle sheath is parenchymatous, and it is present. Bundle sheath extensions are, these are also extension, also parenchymatous. Presence of mesophyll, it is distinguished into palisade and spongy tissues, spongy parenchyma. Once again see the structure of dicot leaf. Both sides epidermis is present. This is upper epidermis and this is lower epidermis. Both sides we can observe cuticle. Cuticle is present. Stomata are present in the lower side only. Of course, if it is stomata present in the upper epidermis, very less number of stomata present in the upper epidermis. Generally, stomata are found in lower epidermis. So here we can observe stomata structure, the aperture, and below the epidermis layer, we can observe these are mesophyll cells, and these are the elongated column-like structures are palisade tissues. These are compactly arranged, and these cells are spongy tissues. They are loosely arranged. Here also you can see three vascular bundles we can observe. Comparatively, if we see here, the midrib region vascular bundle is larger, and the vein vascular bundles are smaller in size, and vascular bundles are present. This is vascular bundle, and it is surrounded by parenchymatous cells, which is known as bundle sheath. and this bundle sheath extension, parenchymatous extension, goes up to epidermis. So here we can see this extension epidermis going up to epidermis in the lower side also, and no cambium ring is present. This is protoxylem, which is towards upper epidermis, and these two are metaxylem. So xylem is towards upper epidermis and phloem is towards lower side. So this part is phloem. This is the structure of dicot leaf. I hope all of you have understood this, and in the live class we have discussed the anatomy of monocot leaf. Let's say once again we will see that structure and we will see the difference also. This is the structure of monocot leaf, and in monocot leaf we can see both side epidermis is present. Here also both side epidermis is present, and epidermis is covered with cuticle. This side also epidermis is covered on the lower side also, and stomata is present in both side. Equal number of stomata present in the upper epidermis and lower epidermis. Whereas in dicot leaf we have seen stomatas are confined to lower epidermis only. That means if present in the upper epidermis, very less number, but more number of stomatas are present in the lower epidermis in dicot leaf we have seen. Whereas in monocot leaf, equal number of stomatas are present on the both the epidermis. And here stomatal, substomatal cavity above this stomata, or here we can say below this stomatal aperture, a cavity is present where water is stored in monocot leaf, that we can see. And the mesophyll, if you see, these are mesophyll cells, and the mesophyll cells are not distinguished into palisade and spongy parenchyma. This is the difference between dicot and monocot leaf. First of all, the stomata is present on both sides, both the epidermal layer. This is one point, and the second point is mesophyll cells are not distinguished into palisade and spongy tissues. Whereas in dicot leaf, the mesophyll cells are divided. It is of two types. One is palisade, column-like structure, and one is loosely arranged spongy parenchyma. But in monocot, we can observe, we can see only one type of cells are present. That is spongy type of tissues and loosely arranged cells. And here also we can observe vascular bundle, larger vascular bundle is present in the midrib region, and the other vascular bundles are of same size, not of different size. Like in dicot leaf we have seen they are of different size, but here only one large vascular bundle is present on the midrib, and the rest of the vascular bundles are of same size, which are present on the veins or veinlets. And if we see here, this is vascular bundle, this part is vascular bundle, and this is metaxylem. The big rounds are metaxylem, and small one is protoxylem. So here also, and this is upper epidermis, adaxial epidermis, and this is protoxylem, xylem, protoxylem, and this is metaxylem. Metaxylem, and lower side phloem is present. So on the lower side we can see this part is phloem, and here stomata, and here you can observe bundle sheath. It is also surrounded by parenchymatous bundle sheath, but the extensions are sclerenchymatous. Bundle sheath extensions are sclerenchymatous, and here some of the cells are large, which is known as motor cells. So let's see once again the diagram. Anatomy of monocot leaf, if we see, triticum leaf. Triticum means wheat leaf. Triticum vulgare is the scientific name of wheat, botanical name of wheat. So TS shows prominent ridges and grooves. Ridge-like structures and grooves are present and reveals the following tissues. The first one is epidermis. So in monocot leaf also, first layer is epidermis. So two epidermal layers are present, one each on upper and lower surface. Upper is known as adaxial and lower is known as abaxial. And epidermis is uniseriate, single layered. Uniseriate upper and lower epidermal layers are composed of more or less oval shaped cell. The cells are not barrel shaped here. Cells are oval shaped, of course. So uniseriate layer is uniseriate single layer. Cells are oval shaped and compactly arranged. Upper and lower epidermal layers are clearly distinguishable. We can observe that this one is upper and lower epidermis. And mesophyll is clearly differentiated into mesophyll cells are not differentiated into, sorry, here, not clearly differentiated into palisade and spongy parenchyma. All the cells are similar in monocot. All the cells are similar and they are like spongy parenchyma. They are loosely arranged in monocot leaf. Stomata only on the lower side. Stomata is present only in the lower side. And few big motor cells or bulliform cells are present in groups here and there and in the furrows of upper epidermis. So in the upper epidermis we can see some larger cells are present. They are thin walled, they are empty cells, and these cells are known as motor cells. The function of these cells are, when the water enters into the cell becomes tursate and swells up. That means swells up, and it is known as endoosmosis. But when water comes out, the cell becomes flaccid, and what happens? Due to that, curling occurs. So that rolling and unrolling takes place due to these motor cells. When water comes outside, it becomes flaccid and it starts curling. So unrolling and rolling occurs. So it rolls when water comes outside. So this is the function of bulliform cells, and the bulliform cells are present in monocot leaf only. So this is the third difference. First difference we have observed in stomata, fewer number of stomatas present in lower side in dicot, whereas equal number of stomatas are present in monocot. And bulliform cells are present in upper epidermis in monocot leaf, and no motor cells or bulliform cells are found in dicot leaf. And third point is mesophylls are distinguished into palisade and spongy in dicot leaf, whereas in monocot leaf mesophyll cells are not distinguished into palisade and spongy tissues. So stomata each consisting of a pore and guard cells and a stomatal chamber are present, which is known as substomatal cavities also on both the epidermal layer. Stomatal chamber is present. A thick cuticle is present on the outer walls of the epidermal cells. A thick cuticle is present on the outer walls of epidermal cell. Bulliform cells help folding of leaves. So rolling of leaves or folding of leaves, or you can say curling of leaves, we can see. And the mesophyll, if we observe, it is not clearly differentiated into palisade and spongy parenchyma. But the cells just next to the epidermal layers are a bit longer, while the cells of central mesophylls region are oval and irregularly arranged. So there is no palisade and spongy. The cells are bigger in size towards epidermis, and in the center smaller cells are present in the mesophylls. The cells are filled with many chloroplasts. In spongy tissue also cells are filled with many chloroplasts, but equal number of chloroplasts present, because it is not distinguished. So it is, we can observe equal number of chloroplasts. So it is known as isobilateral. The monocot leaf is known as isobilateral because both sides same color, because number of chloroplast, chlorophyll present both sides same. So many intercellular spaces are also present in this region. So in the spongy tissues we can observe many intercellular spaces are present. Substomatal chambers of the stomata are also situated in this region. So stomata, below the stomata, substomatal chamber is present. When xylem conducts water, the water is stored in the substomatal cavity. And the vascular system, if we observe, many vascular bundles are present. They are arranged in parallel series. As monocot leaf is a parallel, shows parallel venation, and I explained you that this is the stem. How we can say this one is epidermis, outer epidermis, that is upper epidermis. So this side, the side which is nearer to the branch or the stem, is called upper epidermis, and this part is called lower epidermis. So here we can say the these cells, the venation of monocot leaf, if we observe, this is midrib and other veins run parallel to each other, like in this manner. So these are parallel. So similarly, many vascular bundles are present. They are arranged in parallel series. They are arranged parallelly. The central vascular bundle is largest. So on the midrib region, a vascular bundle is present which is largest. And the central vascular bundle largest in size. The vascular bundles are conjoint, collateral and closed. Here also the vascular bundles are conjoint. Xylem and phloem is in the same bundle. Collateral, they are placed side by side, and closed. That means no cambium ring is present. Each vascular bundle remains surrounded by double layered bundle sheath. So a bundle sheath layer, double layer bundle sheath is present. This bundle sheath is made up of parenchymatous, but here the extension of bundle sheath is sclerenchymatous. So outer layer of bundle sheath consists of thin walled cells, while the inner layer is made up of thick walled cells. So two layered, outer layer is thin walled and inner layer is thick walled. And on the upper as well as lower surface of large vascular bundles are present patches of sclerenchyma. These patches are nothing but extension of bundle sheath, which are closely associated with the epidermal layer. They are present up to epidermal layer, so they are closely associated with the epidermal layers, and there is no such as association between the sclerenchyma and small vascular bundles. Small vascular bundle, we cannot observe that sclerenchymatous structure, but in large vascular bundle, up to the bundle sheath extension, which is made up of sclerenchyma in a monocot, that goes up to epidermis. Xylem occurs towards the upper surface and phloem towards the lower surface. Similarly, in dicot leaf also we have seen that xylem is towards upper side, upper epidermis side, and phloem is towards lower epidermis side. Xylem consists of vessels and tracheids. Sometimes small amount of xylem parenchyma is also present. So in this here also xylem vessels and sometimes tracheids are present, and small amount of xylem parenchyma is observed. And phloem consists of sieve tubes, and when sieve tubes are there, naturally companion cells. So phloem consists of sieve tubes and companion cells. So both sieve tubes are present and companion cells are present. Here also xylem vessels and tracheids and a small amount of xylem parenchyma. And what the xerophytic character, if the leaf is xerophytic, then the characters thick cuticle is present. In xerophytes, in xerophytic leaf, thick cuticle is present. Presence of motor cells are there. Sclerenchymatous patches present, and stomata in furrows. We can observe stomata in furrows in the ridges also. So this is the structure of dicot and monocot leaf, and the difference we have seen first in the epidermis. We have seen that in dicot leaf the stomatas are confined to lower epidermis, whereas in monocot leaf the stomatas are present both on upper epidermis and lower epidermis. This is one point. And the second, motor cells are present, not present in dicot leaf, whereas motor cells or bulliform cells, large cells, thin walled cells are present in monocot leaf. The next third point is mesophils are not distinguished in monocot leaf. All the cells are in the mesophils are parenchymatous, and it looks like spongy parenchyma. They are loosely arranged, whereas in dicot leaf the mesophyll cells are divided into palisade tissues and spongy tissues. Palisade tissues are column-like structure. They are closely packed structure without having intercellular spaces, and they are present towards below the upper epidermis, whereas spongy tissues are loosely arranged cells. They are also made up of parenchyma, but cells are loosely arranged with large intercellular spaces and less number of chloroplasts present in spongy tissues. And next point is, we can observe that sclerenchyma patches are present in monocot leaf. The bundle sheath extensions are sclerenchymatous that goes up to epidermis, whereas in dicot the parenchyma cells are present. The extension is parenchymatous, which goes up to epidermis. So these are few differences in between monocot leaf and dicot leaf. Otherwise, the structure is similar. Both the leaves in both the leaves we have seen both side epidermis present, cuticle present, stomata is present, and in the middle mesophyll cells present, and vascular bundle in both the leaf, conjoint, collateral, and a closed type of vascular bundles. So this is the structure of monocot leaf. So today we have seen the structure of dicot and monocot leaf and also discussed the differences between these two leaves. I hope all of you have understood this. In the next class, we are going to talk about, we will discuss about the secondary growth in dicot stem. So till then, take care of yourself, students.